it's just too much racism and misogyny for me. Which, welcome friends, my name is QuentinRJiles and welcome to the Q with Q. Now I want to give you a warning before we get into today's topic. I think that it would be remiss of me to not tell parents that this particular segment might not be suitable for children. We will be talking about a white domestic terrorist group, and so I just want everybody watching to use caution before watching this and engaging with this, and before they decide whether or not to watch this as a family or to watch this as adults or people of a particular age with a certain maturity level. So let's just jump right into it. Who are the Proud Boys and what do they stand for? Lately in the news, we've been seeing the media talk about this group, the Proud Boys. Now this is a group that took part in storming the US Capitol. The Proud Boys is a male-only right-wing organization. Their beliefs are incredibly misogynistic and racist and often use violence to get their point across. Now, the group was founded by a Canadian man, Gavin Mcinnes, who was previously employed by Vice and one of its co-founders. Mcinnes created the group Proud Boys in 2016 and focused on, quote, anti-political correctness, end quote, as well as, quote, anti-white guilt. Pause right there. I mean, nobody's asking white people to feel guilty about their positions. What we are asking for is that you acknowledge that you are propped up in a position of privilege based on the historical factors in this country that propped white folks up and everybody else down. But back to them. Now, former President Trump's surge to victory in 2016 made this group popular. This group describes themselves as Western chauvinists and deny that they have any relations to the alt-right. Instead, they state that they are more of a fraternal group working on spreading their agenda of anti-political correctness, and again, as well as anti-white guilt. If we were just to take the direct quotes from Mcinnes, we could probably make a determination that he is sexist, anti-Semitic, Islamophobic, racist, transphobic, and honestly, the list could probably just go on and on and on. But with all that, the group says that any man, regardless of race or sexual orientation, can join this organization by understanding that white men are not the problem. Now here are some direct quotes from the group's founder. Quote, "I'm not a fan of Islam. I think it's fair to call me Islamophobic," end quote. "Maybe the reason I'm sexist is because women are dumb. No, I'm just kidding, ladies. But you do tend to not thrive in certain areas, like writing," end quote. That one was from the Gavin Mcinnes show, June 28th, 2017. McGinn has also been quoted in the New York Times saying, quote, "I love being white, and I think it's something to be very proud of," end quote. Let me pause right there and just interject because I know I have a lot of allies that watch my show and support me. There's nothing wrong with being proud of your white skin. You were born that way. You are an image bearer of God. He chose to make you white, and you should celebrate that. The issue is, and the historical issue is, that proudness of white is right is where the problem lies. When you think that because you have white skin, everyone else should be subservient to you, that's where we have an issue. In 2015, McGinn started having regular meetings with men who shared his belief at Compound Media. This became the base from which the Proud Boys was formed. Their catchphrase is Yahiru, which is a Swahili word that translates to freedom. Okay. Now their name comes from the musical Aladdin that includes a song labeled Proud of Your Boy. From what we can see, the Proud Boys use the clothing brand Fred Perry and are oftentimes wearing black/yellow twin-tip shirts and uses a laurel wreath as an image logo. The company put out a statement that addressed this and said that the company has absolutely no affiliation to the Proud Boys and will stop selling the shirts in Canada and the US until they believe that the association of their clothing with the Proud Boys group is over. Now that don't even make good sense. Business didn't even have nothing to do with these people. Now, there are 3 levels to this organization. The first level, a member has to state, quote, "I'm a Western chauvinist and I refuse to apologize for creating the modern world," end quote. In the second level, a member has to undergo a beating and name 5 kinds of breakfast cereal. This is to show they can demonstrate adrenaline control. They also have to stop masturbating as they believe it will cause men to be more proactive to go out and meet women. They also believe that this will increase their testosterone levels and make women more attracted to them. However, research has shown the opposite. I'm just not understanding why this is even a conversation to join this group, but okay. The third level of the organization, members get a tattoo representing the organization. So what exactly are they doing? Well, what we can see is they are inciting violence. The founder states that the Proud Boys do not have any connection with members to the alt-right community. We know this is a lie because we see the Proud Boys in spaces being taken up by the alt-right. The Proud Boys marched in Charlottesville, Virginia. They were joined by skinheads when they attacked protesters in October of 2018 after a speech given by their leader in the Metropolitan Republican Club in New York City. They took part in the insurgency with the state capitol on January 6th as well. Now, over the years, we have seen the Proud Boys partake in multiple accounts of street violence, and their targets seem to be left-wing activists and protesters. They've utilized lies to keep the hate group tag from being applied to them. Every time their members are seen doing things they're not supposed to be doing, like showing up at a Unite the Right, they claim that the person left the Proud Boys. So how are people joining this group? Facebook. The group has multiple vetting pages on the social media site Facebook. Here people can apply and their application will be reviewed by administrators in their area or local chapter. These pages essentially create an echo chamber to spread hateful messaging while also being used for calls to action in planning of events. The group tried to get their own web form and label it Proud Boys, but this ultimately failed. Now, Facebook has come under fire for allowing the Proud Boys to recruit new members into their group. Facebook came back and released its internal community standards to help reassure people that their site was making sure to create a safe platform. Facebook was not the only site to be criticized. Twitter also was criticized when it verified Proud Boys accounts. Now, the crazy thing is, men are not the only people wanting to engage in racism and hate speech. Women are getting involved in creating space for themselves in the alt-right. Cues the Proud Girls. Former MMA fighter Tara LaRose created a Telegram channel labeled Proud Girls USA on December 21st. LaRose has marched with Proud Boys groups in the past as well as other alt-right groups. On the same day, December 21st, the Proud Boys USA channel stiff-armed the Proud Girls and were quoted saying things like, "Don't ride our coattails. Want to support us? Get married, have babies, and take care of your family." The following day, La Rosa fired back at the comments saying, "All you little crybaby pecker boys," and boasting, quote, "I'm tougher than 99% of you alleged men," end quote. She also shared a picture of herself with the podcaster Joe Briggs and head of the Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio. With this picture was a caption that read, "She will lead us to wreck Antifa like even the PBs have not. She could probably beat up any Proud Boy in the world." Now, La Rosa has crowned herself as the Noble Den Mother. And this group perpetuates the same racist ideology, the Proud Boys, but states that any woman can join this organization as long as they share the belief that white people, specifically white men, are not at fault with the problems in today's society. The Proud Boys, continuing to be misogynistic, is doing everything they can to discredit the Proud Girls, even though they believe in the same stuff. We've seen quotes like, "This is a men's club," end quote. And if you're not in a relationship with a Proud Boy, at worst, you're a groupie. The co-author of Alt-Right Gangs, A Hazy Shade of White, Matthew Vlasic, said, "While fascist and far-right groups like the Nazi Party and the Klan have often had women auxiliaries, there's kind of the idea of traditional values and stereotypes that they try to adhere to. There's a lot of nostalgia for a prior time when men were the ones that had the status." The traditional role of men as breadwinners posit feminists, multiculturalism, and immigrants as jumping the line and destroying white male power. Some members of the Proud Boys have threatened women who have joined the Proud Girls. Now, Velasquez notes that it's not clear if both groups are going after one another for the sake of publicity, or if the Proud Boys are truly against there being an organization of Proud Girls. Which, okay. It's just too much racism and misogyny for me. So in the end, even though Trump is out of office, these extremist groups are not going away. And I think it's important that we all understand, no matter what side of the fence we're on, extremist groups such as the Proud Boys incite violence to further their agenda. They had these ideas and beliefs before Trump came into the spotlight as a political candidate, and they will continue to be around now that he's gone. Now you may ask, Quentin, why are we giving more attention to this hate group? The answer is because they're not going away. Social media is giving them space to spread their message and gain members. And we need to realize that these groups of individuals are not just screaming their rhetoric into a void. They are actively attacking our democracy and implicating the country both politically and socially. We can't just turn a blind eye to their actions, as their actions are impacting our democracy, even in our post-Trump era, and most likely in elections to come. And not only that, we, I think, need to be on guard of what we're consuming via social media, making sure that our loved ones are not somehow getting caught up in the trap of extremist groups like this, or conspiracy groups like QAnon. Now, with all that being said, I would love to know your thoughts on the Proud Boys. How serious of a threat do you think this organization is? And what do you think we should do about extremist groups like these? Until next time, my friends, it's me, Quentin R. Jiles, and I will be looking in the comments to see what you think.